zone. Well, the Trump administration is looking into the possibility of imposing tariffs on imported lumber. The tariffs could come as the housing market struggles and major cities like Asheville, North Carolina, and Los Angeles require lumber to rebuild following two natural disasters. So, what could these tariffs mean? And, well, we need to find out more. And to do just that, we are now joined by business analyst and attorney Parag Amin back here on the Live Zone. Parag, always good to see you, sir. Welcome back to the show.
Great to see you, Guy.
Let's jump right into this. Out of curiosity, a lot of folks are watching today and saying, hey, hold up, what do you mean, tariffs on lumber? And so with that being said, why the focus on lumber?
Well, part of what we've seen with the Trump administration is trying to protect domestic industry with tariffs. And so he's done this with steel, aluminum, and now with lumber. He's saying, look, if Canada doesn't abide by its agreement to increase border security and stop the flow of fentanyl and illegal drugs into the United States, he's going to be imposing a tariff on lumber.
All right, so I got to ask, how dependent, yet again, is the U.S. Really focused on imported lumber? Because this is an issue that could really we could see spiral out of control.
That's right. So the good news is the United States has a lot of domestic lumber, and President Trump and his cabinet are working on releasing and increasing the production of domestic lumber by easing up on some of the restrictions that are required to be able to produce lumber. But the United States does import a large amount of lumber, almost half, nearly half of its lumber. And its biggest contributor of imported lumber is Canada. So we could see some dramatically increasing prices if these tariffs do take effect for imported lumber.
Parag, if you get a chance to drive through D.C., you'll see crane after crane, and I'm talking about construction cranes. A lot of building going on right here in the nation's capital. So the question looms, how will this really affect the housing industry?
Unfortunately, Guy, I think we're looking at increasing housing prices across the board. Look, high interest rates combined with tariffs create strong economic headwinds. We're looking at, unfortunately, realistically, higher prices all the way around, not only due to the increased amount of demand due to these natural disasters, but also, again, because of tariffs, because of the shortage of supply and the issues that we're all facing are going to realistically result in an increased pricing for everyday supplies that we need, including lumber to rebuild.
Yeah, you heard me make mention of the nation's capital, but, well, let's really put this into perspective. Asheville, North Carolina, Los Angeles, two cities hit by natural disasters. Yet again, lumber is premium, but now they could be facing a shortage.
That's right. And this is something that I hope the Trump administration considers, is this is not the ideal time to impose these tariffs. And look, right now, the Trump administration has not made these tariffs final, and I think we're all hoping that some sort of deal can be reached to avoid these tariffs being imposed.
All right, well, let's end with this, and that is the big picture, as we all like to say. And that being said, I'd like to know what the U.S. economy will face, if anything, as a whole, as a result of these possible tariffs.
Well, in the short term, Guy, I think realistically we're looking at higher prices across the board. We're all already seeing high prices, and realistically, tariffs on items such as steel, lumber, aluminum are going to result in much higher prices, especially for the more expensive things like homes, washers, dryers, vehicles. And so I think in the short term, we're realistically looking at some significantly higher prices, unfortunately. Now, I think in the long term, the great news is the United States is a resilient country, and we've come through things time and time again, and I remain optimistic that we'll be able to do it here.
All right. Good news yet again from Mr. Parag Amin, business analyst and attorney, yet again joining us on the Live Zone. Always appreciate your commentary, sir. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Always a pleasure, Guy. Thank you.